Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you today. We have an exciting day ahead of us. I just found out about 1 second ago that not only am I your host and your speaker, but it seems I'm your prayer person. So always ready for the next moment. That's what we're actually here to inhabit, to live, freedom is being ready for the next moment, right? My name is Rosalyn Rourke. For those of you who don't know me yet, by the end of today, we will know each other quite well. So I will introduce myself in more detail when I introduce myself as the speaker. So let's now just settle in for a moment. I think before we do that, I should let people come in, and maybe you could put in the chat while you're in your hearts exactly where you're from and what your intention is that you are feeling bubbling up from your heart. I would appreciate if you do that. See, people are coming in and I don't want them to miss any of the things, and they can look at the chat and see where you're from. So thank you for doing that. All right. So there's messages happening. That's fantastic. All right. So yes, once again, stepping into your heart, taking a deep breath, joining your body, joining your mind, joining your feelings with the divine. They never have been separate, but sometimes they appear to be separate. We receive the blessing right now that we give and that we receive. We claim grace, grace in this moment. And let's call grace everything, not just what we like, but everything. Grace is in this moment. Grace is in the moment that I get to be your prayer partner at this time, even though I had not known that was my job today. There's so much gratitude for every moment because it means our aliveness. It means new opportunities. We make an offering for anything that appears to be not what we want. After today, we may have a new point of view about what we want. We make an offering of anything that seems to be a disturbance, and we ask with that offering for a new moment, and we receive that moment now. We declare that we are one with the divine, always have been, always will be, no matter what the appearance seems to be. And we share the loveliness of grace with every being because they are one with us, we with them, and we with the divine. There is only oneness. Thank you. All right. So my name is Rosalyn Rourke, and this is my official introduction to you. I've been a Course in Miracles student and teacher since the late 80s. That is part of my background. I was a psychotherapist for more than 30 years. I retired when my daughter unexpectedly died. Actually, I retired before that, but I came back to work after she passed away and made her transition, and I transitioned to being a new person. And that's what today is going to be all about. Of course, I look the same, I sound the same, but inside, the transformation is so extreme. And if you've heard me talk about some of these things before, I think I'm going to reveal a little more today. So when I came back to work, I gave myself the title of Oneness Coach, because I don't do the psychology of the mind, even though I am a master Enneagram teacher and have taught for the power of love for, I think we're going on 5 years with study groups that have been long-standing, long-term breakout experiences to what we are not. That's the way I teach A Course in Miracles. And that's the way I teach the Enneagram, is that we are not who we thought we were. And it's always fun to see the strategies that we used to use to be a separate personality. So let's see, I think that this is my time to introduce Jackie. Jackie, we are a team today, and I will read you her bio. Hi, Jackie. Let's see. Whoops, I got the wrong paper here. Jackie Jones is from New York City, and she is from the New York City area. She is currently teaching jazz voice at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. She has toured through the United States and internationally, including Portugal, Russia, Germany, and Switzerland. Jackie is committed to spreading peace, love, and joy through her music. Thank you for being here, Jackie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being in a team with you and everyone today. Right. This is what I know. We are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Yes, this is what I know. That we are all connected. The universe reflected in each shining part. And everywhere I go, I recognize the faces. All of my relations in this one heart. And all I need is already looking through these eyes. Nearer than my breathing, closer than hands and feet. We are dreaming together all the gifts of heaven and earth. And so I receive all I can be. Yes, now I let it go with such appreciation. Sheer exhilaration now, I set it free. And so it is, and so be it. When I sing it, I can see it. I welcome us in, and now we begin. Oh, yeah, yes, yes. This is what I know, that we are all connected. Yeah, yeah, yes. This is what I know. This is what I know. We are all connected.
Oh, Jackie, how perfect. Thank you so much for that song that's right on point for us today. And I'm delighted to find out we do have a prayer person. That's Elena. So she will take over from now on. Hope she stays here with us. Thank you, Elena. All right. So we're going to start sharing. And I told you that I would tell you a little bit more about Melissa and my experience because it led me to what I want to share with you today. Melissa and I had some very rough times. At that time, it really started a little bit when she was about 5 and started getting a chubby little stomach. She was just an exuberant child and approached food in the most beautiful way. I understand now, with exuberance and passion, and it scared me. It scared me because of a word I did not know at the time called epigenesis. And that's when our family stories, our family psychology, their thoughts, their feelings, and their behavior can be stored in our genes. And it was news to me. I knew that psychologically, I was repeating fears that my mother and her mother and her mother had a dynamic of being judgmental toward one child and their body size. And it was like we took all of the troubles in the world and we took all of our insecurities and unworthiness and focused on body size. I don't know about you, but was there a theme in your family? Was it about money, or was it about work status, or was it about education, or was it about some other way of fitting in that the generations passed down to each other? So we had our great times. Melissa was very loved. And by the way, she had her birthday this week. So it's all a fit to be talking about these things. Fast forward to being an adult. I mentioned I was a psychotherapist. In addition, I was a trauma specialist. I was an eating disorder expert. Luckily, I learned non-dual dieting. Putting those two words together is a strange thing. It's called non-dieting, but I really put it together with non-duality, and it really helped me release the food issues. But I found that I was still controlling her, even to the point of wanting her to be a non-dieter. So I knew it wasn't okay. I wanted to let it go. That desire wasn't enough. There weren't any programs that could help me until May 2017. I wasn't even looking to fix this. I was done fixing. Everything helped a little bit. I mean, it did help a little to say, I'm not a body, but I still thought I was a body. So the course lines, much as I wanted to embody them, I just had to except that I didn't really get it. I spoke the words, I tried to change my mind, but if you knew the truth of my thoughts and feelings, they only changed a little. So fast forward to 2017, I was on a trip to Ireland with two other couples. And many of you are participants in Jennifer's Master of Living in Mastery. And she has a book, I think it's in the second year, by Lorna Byrne, called Angels in My Hair. And that book had a profound effect on me. I did not have an opinion on angels. And by the way, having an opinion and not having an opinion is an amazing difference, because I was wide open with no opinions on angels. Excuse me. And when I read her book, I was captivated. And it's the first time she ever told her story. So the whole story. Her husband knew a little, her children knew a little, but no one knew the whole story until she wrote that book. So I think it's, for me, a far greater book than the others, because it holds that dynamic truth. Anyway, we arranged a private trip with Lorna, and she spoke to my husband and I. And the only thing I can tell you about that was that it was a transmission of the divine. It was not her words. It wasn't her personality. I'll tell you her words. She said very little to us except that Melissa is stubborn. And by her telling us that, we knew she had genuine, real information, because that's not your typical statement on an angel reading. And then she said, "You must." And I heard it as shouting, even though she's a soft-spoken person who would never shout or raise her voice or even be stern. But I heard it so loudly. You must stop worrying about Melissa. And I can tell you that from that day on, if a thought occurred to me to be concerned about her weight or anything else, it stopped mid-track. I used my awareness, I used the awareness of the universe to let it go. I did not engage in what used to be looping thoughts and feelings, repetitive, constant looping thoughts and feelings. And my husband and I never again engaged in a worried conversation. We just both dropped it. I can't say it never began, but when you don't feed a thought or a feeling, they have no power. They only have power if you believe in them. And when we believe in them, we feed them. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you all of this because you too can have a direct experience of something else. That's the best way I can tell you what happened with Lorna. It was something else. If I try to put it in words, what happened, it will be diminished. It won't be what it was. So that was in May 2017. Melissa was riveted by what I told her, which wasn't really a lot, except that Lorna talked about her the whole time, her dogs, her life, love, her worthiness, but she didn't use that word, really her greatness. She didn't use that word either, but she talked about Melissa, and I told her all the things that Lorna had said about her and that we must stop worrying. And things changed rapidly. And Melissa started seeing me through different eyes when I stopped judging her. The walls dropped. I could see her eyes didn't have defenses. Her smile was broader. She just let the barriers and the walls go because I was a person she couldn't trust, because she couldn't trust my thoughts. I always knew better than to say anything. For God's sake, I'm a psychotherapist. Even if I'm not working, I'm still a psychotherapist because that training and that work was so long. So I knew better than to say anything. But I'm here to urge you that the people in your life read your thoughts. They read your feelings. There are no secrets. There's no privacy. You can argue for what to say or not say, and you've got my blessings, but the other people know exactly where you are. That's my point. So I want to tell you what happened to Melissa. It might be a little bit unbelievable, but I've got even more unbelievable to offer you in the direct experience when I'm done sharing about this. So hang in there. There's a reason I'm telling you about Melissa and I. So by about August, this was May that I saw Lorna. By about August, Melissa was getting messages. You decide where they were from. She called them angels, that the messages were angels, and they were saying things like, get rid of all these things, and she'd get rid of them. Wear this, don't wear that. Sometimes she said the outfit was ridiculous, and she would wear it. She was told, you won't need money anymore. Start working for free. She had been an attorney for the state of Washington and for the Attorney General's office. And she became, after that, very quickly, she became a coach. And she worked with people who were not a typical size, especially. But she had all kinds of people she worked with very intensively. But when the angels arrived, they ruled our lives. They said, you don't need a special ticket at Universal Studios. You won't have any crowds. Who ever heard of that at Universal Studios? We had no crowds. They said, go to this place for New Year's Eve. I thought, they don't have a good chef. It's a special night. Why would we go there? But we went there. Oh my God, the place was redesigned. They had an outdoor garden and a new chef. Everything we did, she would kind of tell us what the angels said. She did everything. We did most everything, especially 100% when we were in her presence. One more thing that was kind of wild. I really enjoyed watching her surrender, her 100% doing even what sounded crazy. She looked better with a little wiglet. It covered a thin spot in her head. They said, get rid of the wiglet. She got rid of the wiglet. They said, buy a size 14 dress, leave it in the hotel room for the person who's going to be cleaning your room. She did it. I mean, it went on and on. It was an amazing thing to watch. And we did ancestral healing work together. She invited me to join her in many wonderful adventures professionally. So moving on toward January 2018, we got the shocking call of our lives. A policeman called and said, I'm sorry to tell you that your daughter is dead. She could not be revived. Rigor mortis has set in. It's the call that no parents ever dream of getting. And I went through all the stages. At first, the shock, of course, and then the experience of the stages of grief, which I don't recommend. They happen, but I don't recommend them as stages because they have a lot of the characteristic of those looping thoughts and feelings. And when we have a name and a label, and now a stage, just from my own experience, I don't recommend naming them. And then something else happened. I was in the middle of my stages of grief, allowing whatever was happening to happen, let the thoughts run. I didn't try to do A Course in Miracles lines to stop them, nothing. I just let it rip. And I was shaken from the outside, shaken. But I kind of ignored that until it happened a few times. And then I realized all the stages were gone. All the grief was gone. I checked in. Melissa's still dead, right? Yeah, she's still dead. By the way, I had to go through a real transformation with the word dead. So I know people here generally use the word transition or made her transition or passing, but I had to come to terms with that word dead because the rest of the world was calling her dead. And I had to do things about the dead, and I had to just let that word go. It was part of my acceptance, and I use it with great reverence now that I feel so much gratitude that I can say that word without it hurting. So what happened with the shaking? I said, where did the suffering go? I'm still alive. She's still dead. What happened? And what I got back was I was okay and she was dead. And then the next thought was, can I really admit that to anyone that I'm okay? Doesn't a mother who loved her daughter need to suffer? Haven't we all heard that the degree to which you love someone is the degree to which it will hurt? Well, where's the hurt? But it was so amazing to have the hurt gone, that nightmare of suffering gone, that I was willing to be courageous. That's what it felt like. By that point, I was really more aware of, do I step into this? Do I step into allowing anyone to know I'm okay? That seemed huge. And now I want GJ to share a short video. And while he's putting that up, I would like to go into the chat and write down if you're willing to have an expansion, right? Expansion. If you're willing to step out into something new, right in there. Expansion, new, willingness, freedom, letting my beliefs go, anything you want, if you're willing. And then GJ, go ahead and put that up, please. Yes, willingness, expansion. Yes, thank you. All right, let's play it. everybody back on. Yes. Oh, wow. So I have to turn this on so I can see you all. Let me just close this. So how was that? I mean, was that not amazing? Some of us have seen it before. It never fails for me to make me speechless. I forgot to say, if you're double tasking, to let down your extra task and pay attention. Not knowing how did that happen, or just not putting words, not having the words. Oh, it's a coincidence. Oh, even if we say it's God doing God's work, we're almost not letting it in. Yes, Rand, thank you. Yes to everything. Yes. Do you feel an openness? Put your thumbs up if you feel an openness. Yes, in the heart. The spaciousness, right? A spaciousness.
Mm.
And do you feel like for a few minutes you left your personality, you maybe even left your body, and you became one with, what did we become one with? The two mothers, the two babies, the song for good. One of the lines is, I've heard it said, I've been changed for good by knowing you. And this song, I mean, did I ever hear this song? It's so unusual, I think, for two mothers, right? To know that song, to be able to sing that song. It's a mystery. If we allow the mystery, let our beliefs go, even whatever they are, even if they're beautiful, if we don't plug in our beliefs, we stay in this field. What's that? What is that again that Rumi said in that field? I will meet you where good, and this is a paraphrase, I have it somewhere, but where good and bad disappear. That's a paraphrase, but I'll meet you there. Isn't that what forgiveness is? But what about the eternity of now and the divinity of now? This time listening to that video, I felt that Beckham was Melissa. The thing that I couldn't tell you when I was using words in my talk was what I got to was a wordless place that Melissa and I are in. In the beginning, it was her voice and her messages. And then I actually got words, it seemed, from her in her voice, that you're still attached to me. Let that go. And I'm going to stop talking to you in my voice and still take the instruction. It wasn't all those words. It was just about getting beyond the personal. And so I want to leave you with that message as well of what if, when A Course in Miracles says your only problem is a belief in separation, we focus on the separation and we want to stay us. We want to be me and you be you, and then we'll work on the kumbaya of oneness. What if we are something? We're alive, for sure. We have thoughts and feelings, but maybe we're not the thoughts and feelings because they come and go. And we are something continuous, but we've created an image of who we are from our community, our families, from talking to each other. But what if that's not who we are? We are something more unlimited, something more what science says we are, the divine energy that isn't born and doesn't die. It's not solid. Science can't find the solid. Just like the sun doesn't rise and set, but we keep calling it that. Maybe we're not these people. Maybe we are just the divine, the oneness that we can tap into when we let go of the belief in this person. For some of us, that's good news. We aren't so madly in love with this person, even though we hold on. We could be said to be madly in hate with these people, but I won't get into that. So, GJ, would you put up the slide right now? I just have one more thing to share on this before we go into our meditation. So these are two newborns. They're together now. They were born 12 weeks early. One of them was thriving and one was not. And the one that was not was in his last moments. His oxygenation was dropping rapidly, and his heartbeat was escalating. And the nurse knew that this child could not survive more than minutes. So she went against hospital rules and put the baby in with their twin. And the baby immediately moved as well as he could over to the other, and the other put their arm around. That was innate. Nobody fixed them. And you know the end of the story. They both survived. They both became very powerful people. And this love is innate, this connection, not the love that's conditional, that I love you because you did that for me, and I love you because you make me feel this way, but just the isness of oneness. Do you notice that the isness isn't about a personality or about behavior or about a thought or a feeling? It's just isness of life. So thank you, TJ. And now we're going to go into a meditation. And if you can imagine that you have superhuman powers right now, and you can breathe in any circumstances. And right now, you are going to become the ocean. And let's start with you're the waves. And the waves are your thoughts and your feelings, your behaviors, and even your problems, all your separated experiences. They're all there in the waves, and they crash, and they come down, and they come up, and they flow, and that's you. That's the you that you're familiar with. And you're part of an ocean, so that's a consolation. And when you can open up to the rest of the ocean and the other waves, it feels pretty darn good. And you could be one with the sun and the moon and the dark and the rain and whatever the weather is, and the other people or the other waves. And sometimes you get into just being a wave and it's your own separate experience. And both of them happen. But now, since you're superhuman powers, you can go down, 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 down into the bottom of the ocean. Still breathing, still alive. And now there's stillness. A stillness that's greater than not talking. A stillness that's all-encompassing. A stillness that has no particular thoughts, no particular feelings, because it's a stillness that's impersonal. It's beyond the personal. We sometimes think impersonal is a bad word. We love our feelings. We love being filled. But right now we're empty. We're empty of ourselves. We're empty of all the wave stuff. We're just alive. We're breathing. We're connected. We're connected to the waves, but we're not involved with the waves. They're alive, we're alive. Now take a deep breath in the bottom of the ocean. And see what it has to offer you. If you were to come back to the waves, if you came back to being a wave, what would that be like? Might that be the real you? It might not be personal. You might not have all your particular wantings, your particular connections that are more like attachments, because you'd be connected to everyone. You don't know those women. You're connected to them. Those two mothers. You're connected to the two babies in the incubators. They're not your babies. They're not even your relatives. You're connected to the love that's impersonal. You're the container of your expansion today, of your realization that you actually are okay. All that you thought needed to be fixed is just thoughts and feelings, conditioning. Your okayness is everything you've been looking for. And if you're okay, so is everyone else. So are all the waves, no matter what they're thinking, no matter what they're feeling, no matter what they're doing. That's not the real them. The real them is what you discovered today. You discovered a new life, a new opportunity. If you will embrace it the way I embraced my suffering leaving me, it led to things like coming to share with you today. It led to surprises, things I may not have desired. I was a pretty withdrawn person. Now I have the mystery of what's next. The openness, the spaciousness, the not knowing that was there for all of us in that mystery of the two women with the particular song for good. Now let's just go back to the wave, if you will. Come to the surface. Come back and join that wave. And remember the last time you were annoyed or the last problem you thought you had, and come to it with this presence that you're bringing now in real time. And see if there isn't a residue from being at the bottom of the ocean and breathing into presence, or being with those two women and their two babies and the two twins in their incubator. Bring that to your problems and see if there isn't a difference. And come back into the room, if you would. And after we have another song from Jackie, we'll go into our breakout rooms and I'll give you a question.
Beautiful, beautiful. Some say the walls between us stand so tall, but they don't see there's just one sun shining on us all. I say we each choose roads to call our own, but none of us is traveling through this universe alone. And this circle just goes on and on. It began before us, and it will be here when we're gone. Yes, this circle just goes on and on and on, connecting our humanity, joining me to you and you to me. Seasons keep spinning on the wheels of time. We stand, we fall, we travel up the mountains we will climb. Different dreams may color what we see ahead, but our lives are strung together on a common thread. And this circle just goes on and on. It began before us, and it will be here when we're gone. Yes, this circle just goes on and on and on. One day you will come to see I'm joined to you and you to me. Round and round and round and round we go. Round and round and round we go. Laugh and learn and change and grow. Round and round and round we go. Yes, circle. It just goes on and on. It began before us, and it will be here when we're gone. Yes, this circle just goes on and on and on, crossing every boundary underneath the sun. Yes, this circle just goes on and on and on. One day you will come to see I am joined to you and you to me.
Oh,
Thank
Jackie,
you.
how beautiful.
Thank you.
Circle goes on, and one thread. You gotta, thank you for giving it to us. You inhabit the oneness. Thank you. Thank you so much. So now we're coming to the part of our service that is very special. We get to have small group listening. Please make sure that everybody in your group has a chance to speak. But if you would like to just listen, that is just fine. The question that I have for you, you can really talk about any parts of the service that have moved you. But if you're a person who likes a question, I would like to ask you, what did you notice when you brought oneness back to your issue? When we went from the bottom of the ocean to the wave, and you thought about something that had upset you, and you brought the oneness, the spaciousness of the bottom of the ocean to your issue. So thank you so much for putting our breakout groups together, dear Frankly. I'm kind of looking for everybody. Let's change my view. Do I have everybody? And there we go. I have everybody back. So who would like to share first? Arba, would you be willing to share first?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rosalyn. I'm still basking in the meditation that you did for us, and it was definitely an experience, a reminder of an experience. And as you know, and you mentioned that the course wasn't able to take you to that next place, but your experience with Melissa and the angels, I didn't know all of that. So it was very special to learn that this week. And as I shared with you, we discovered that Melissa's birthday was the day that I injured my back many years ago. So I do feel like we are definitely connected. And what you were speaking on about your thinking in the stages, reminded me of the course talking about, that you are responsible for what you think, because it's only at that level that we can change it. And most of us, before we studied the course, believe that we change behavior. And when you were talking about, even though you weren't saying all these thoughts in your head, to Melissa directly, that the power of your thinking was still being transmitted. And that is so true. So I think that children are affected, and yet you also were able to show the flip side of your no longer judging, opening the space for her to step into it. That was extremely powerful for me. And that has really reflected my spiritual journey as I'm raising children, just as I've learned more and more about the power of non-judgment, the power of our thinking, that is a place that I feel that we can help raise consciousness in our parenting. So thank you so much, Rosalyn.
Thank you. Karen J, can you share?
Hello, Rosalyn. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the very rich meal of ideas and contemplations in your presentation. And what touches me most deeply is you talking about going beyond. I think it was when there was a transmission and you said, I don't have words for it. It was beyond words. And that of everything you said touched most deeply. I'm on a summer break at the moment, and that's probably why I've got time and felt the prompt to come. And 2 days in, it's always in my summer break, there's always a healing something going on. Spirit's very efficient, and something happens that I wouldn't be so easily able to deal with when I'm working. And 2 days in, I opened to a new state of mind for this this experience. And the best way of describing it is a whole state of mind, a wholeness. And it is beyond words. And I'm not as fully in it now as I was when it first happened. But what I'm noticing, maybe one of the gifts for me, and maybe, I don't know, a gift for somebody listening, is that having had that opening, then there's a new resonance set up, so that in all that you shared, it was the beyond everything that touched me. And the other things that might seem to be more directly speaking to us, the two ladies and the son and the twins, I am acutely aware that it means nothing of itself. That, as you say, there's no person, there's no world, there's nothing going on. But our experience can be the perfect classroom to remind us, be a reflection of the truth, which is beyond anything physical, specific, practical, endearing, seeming loving. For me, nothing. That does not touch me. But if it's a reflection of this beyond, I can feel it. And it does touch me. So I thank you for the gift.
Yeah, I thank you for that too. And the way I experience it now, the way it continues to be my teacher, is I return to it. I return to it. It is now my home. So I leave, and then I bring this back all the time, like we did in that meditation, from down below to the waves. But I do it, and it's not a like a practice, a conscious practice like you have with the lessons or this. It just happens. It just happens. It draws me home when I'm involved with something that seems to be hurtful or whatever it is, whatever craziness, whatever the waves are doing. The waves are no longer home. And that's what I'm hearing from you is you can step away, but you can always step back. And that truth with a capital T is what we've longed for, like that emptiness, that emptiness that's so full.
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Elena.
Oh, wow, Rosalind. I mean, that was so profound and so expansive and so deep that each and like everything. And I absolutely agree with Karen J that it's like this which was beyond, which was simply present all the time. And I am I'm so amazed also in the synchronicity and the choice, like Jackie. I mean, how the songs, everything is so aligned. It's like one message. It's everything is like representation of oneness, because it's like Rosalind would stop here and Jackie literally take from there and
Jackie,
goes.
you tell her that I sent you the video ahead so that you would have a.
You know what? I didn't get a chance to watch the video.
Oh, you didn't even watch it. Oh, how gracious.
Here we are, right?
Yeah, I forgot about, and I was like, oh, anyway, wow. But
Right.
yeah, I
It's
guess
perfect.
spirit
It was
was.
perfect. Yes. So continue, Elaine, and the synchronicity. Yeah.
I'm like literally like and it's like the wholeness. Yeah, that's the word. And I will just share very quickly the first part and then how I experienced this coming in the bottom of the ocean and coming back. So in the beginning, you shared about that when you visited Lorna and then you looked at your daughter and everything like was starting falling away and you really saw her. And I remember me is my journey, like in my journey in this on this planet, on this earth, parenting is it plays like very crucial part. It's like, you know, my story, right? And I remember when I had I was going through the like really challenging time with my kid. And when I started praying that time, and then I was receiving those messages like, and I remember the message that came to me like, and it was saying, just see him, look at him and see him, you know, like in this avatar. I remember it came in this form, like when she's looking at this, when he's in the body, in a human body, she's literally looking at him, the human body, and she sees, I see you. And I just still have this goosebumps when I say it, because I remember when I started, I focused on this. I wanted to see him because I saw only troubles. Like for you, it was like body. For me, it was education and like challenges and everything. And I really focused on this. It's like everything falls away and suddenly got connected, you know. And I think I can talk about a lot of things in parenting, but this is an essential thing when we see them.
Beautiful.
I remember this was my daughter again when she was a teen. I remember I saw her eyes, I knew, I felt it, and I really directly asked her. And because I saw her, she answered me, and we probably saved her life because she shared her thoughts. You know, this is so profound. Oh, yes, and thank you for this meditation experience. I felt such, I mean, I'm still a little bit in the bottom of this ocean. It is like, you know, the stillness and the peace that we desire so much. Yes. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So beautiful share. Yeah. Jackie, do you want to share?
Most people know I'm a woman of little words. I don't like to share, but I have to. I want to have the opportunity just to say, I mean, I enjoyed your words, Rosalind. Just your share about your daughter and just all of that and the angels, and it was really powerful. And wow, I'm actually lost for words because the video, I'm so glad I didn't see the video beforehand because it was just so powerful, so moving, and yeah, just thank you for that. Just thank you for sharing that with us along with the meditation, everything. So thank you for everything you brought
Welcome,
today. It's
everyone.
truly moving, truly moving. Thank you.
Frankly, you want to share? Are you unmuted? Frank? Arba, do you have an idea what's going on? Arba's going to help you. No, can't help you. Can't unmute. Let me try.
He's unmuted, but we can't hear him. He's actually unmuted right now.
Thank you. All right. Well, we have about 2 minutes left. Anybody have anything else you'd like to say? I kind of like to say that I'm as surprised as everybody at exactly what flowed. I knew I had these topics. I knew I had some things to say, but I actually didn't know how they would go together, in this format. And I am very touched that the message seemed to be transmitted. That, So I'm so thankful that you all were here to hold the reception of that. There were many people in the group that I didn't know, so it was just so nice to see all of you and to feel like I just never had concern that it wasn't clear or that it wasn't, I don't know, I think this was the most flowing talk I've ever given. So I feel like I received it myself. So I thank you for that. Yeah.
I agree, Rosalyn. You're very in your heart and very open. And we could feel that. Just everything that today.
I mean, when I had some of those topics, like you're going to tell about Melissa, why are you telling about like what, like what parts did they want to know? Like it didn't all make logical sense, but I knew that this week I had to do that and that somehow it would all be connected. And of course, it was all connected. It was only the mind that was a little far behind. Yeah, thanks everybody. We have 15 seconds. I'm so sorry. I will try again with Frank, but no, I don't think I can do that. Can someone tell me, is there actually an L in Frank's name? Yes, okay. I felt unsure of that. Thank you. All right. Everybody's back. Is that right? Let's see. Yes, coming back. Hi there. Some people left as usual, but they're missing out. All righty, so now's the time that I get to bring up, this is our offering when we can support this amazing ministry, where we can take a time of appreciation for all of you for showing up, because without you, we would not have a service. And the ministry pays for speakers and musicians, and your donation, either Living A Course in Miracles website, which DJ will put up, or someone will put in the chat the other ways that you can get a text message for as little as $1. Wait a minute, second, we have somebody unmuted. There we go. And you can make a month, or you can make a monthly donation that feels comfortable for you. And most of all, we want you to know how much we appreciate you. So hopefully all of that went in the chat. I was not watching. And now, let's see. We get to have a song and a prayer, but first I'm going to make some announcements. The Stop Playing Small retreat has a couple of things bundled with it. And if you sign on soon, you can get Finding Freedom as well as Stop Playing Small. I've heard that Stop Playing Small is life-changing. The mind sometimes decides it wants to play big, and sometimes it wants to play small. But this is really about letting it go and finding out what life wants from you and being a conduit for life. And it can be a most enjoyable ride to be one with the one who decides what's next. So opening to that mystery, and if you feel any urge, any message to join that, you can join right now. GJ will put something in the link, or frankly will do that. But if you're on the fence, you can have a free call with one of the counselors to discuss both programs. I myself have done Finding Freedom. It's awesome, especially if you're thinking of doing Masterful Living in January. It's a great thing to do first. And you can still join the Change Your Mind About Your Body program, and you can get all the past talks, and some exciting people are coming up, including our wonderful Araba. And it's been something that people are really talking about, that it has been life-changing. So I recommend it. And there's one more spot on the Camino. If you're at all interested in that, going away with Jennifer would be a treat in itself, but I have done that exact trip. It is amazing. So that is so fun to be able to walk every day in those beautiful surroundings. And most of all, come together the last day with all the pilgrims who've left their burdens along the way and come together in that beautiful church in Portugal. So it's quite an experience. And there is a free forgiveness workshop coming up August 13th. So Jackie, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to share about?
Nothing at this time, but you could just keep posted on my website,
Okay, tell us
JackieJones.com.
your website.
JackieJones.com.
Wonderful.
Thank
And we
you.
can follow your music there, or should we go somewhere else for your music?
You can follow there also, and that'll take you to my Facebook. Also, I'm on iTunes and Amazon.com. And
iTunes and Amazon.com for your music. Yes,
thank you.
that's great. And let's see, Elena, do you have anything that you would like to share that's coming up for you?
No, not for the moment.
All
Just
right.
maybe an announcement that if someone is interested in a parenting group in our ministry, we and Araba and Tamisha and myself, we are supporting parents. So that's the
How do
only
we join
announcement I
that? How
have.
do we join that? How do we
Araba,
join
you're
that?
muted. Yeah, Araba is speaking. You're muted. We probably have a link.
Yes, but it is for current participants in our programs or alumni of participants in specifically who've done ministry programs. So if you do Stop Playing Small or Finding Freedom, then you would be able to register for it. We don't typically post that link, only on our member site. So,
Alrighty, thank you so much, both of you. And yes, I have some things to share. I have a new website, which I'm very excited about. It's at rosalynrourke.com, my name. And September 19th, I have a book coming out. It's called When Wisdom Appears, From Imagined Unworthiness to Freedom. So yes, join me. There are many free things on my website. If you've enjoyed today, let's continue our conversation together. And so can we have our last song, Jackie?
Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for today. Amazing grace, shall always be my song of praise. For it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just how love came to know me so. Love looked into my heart and saw my needs. And I shall forever lift my head in thanks to thee, to thank my God for all that's done for me. How marvelous that grace that caught my falling soul. Love looked into my heart and saw my needs. I shall forever lift my head in thanks to thee, to thank my God for all that's done for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. Love looked into my heart. Love looked into my heart. Love looked into my heart and saw my needs.
Wow. Love looked into my heart and saw my need. Wow. Thank you, Jackie. And so will you take us out, Elena, with a prayer?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rosalyn. And so I invite you to put our hands in our hearts and take a deep breath of love and gratitude, partnering up with the High Holy Spirit self. So grateful to acknowledge the blessing that has already occurred. So grateful to fully receive the healing that this service has been for us. So grateful and thankful for the wonderful, deep, profound, expansive message of oneness that Rosalyn shared with us today. So grateful for this atmosphere of oneness and wholeness that has been and is with us now during this service today. We're so grateful for the profound sharing of our speaker Rosalyn that touched our hearts, moved our hearts, and healed our hearts. It's such a deep level, I will even say, in so many levels. I'm so grateful for this multi-dimensional healing that we received today. Such a blessing that we are taking with us today to share with our friends, with families, communities, being this blessing, being this healing, embodying this wholeness and oneness and spaciousness. So grateful for the beautiful synchronicity of this service, for Rosalyn and Jackie being like really representing and embodying the oneness, with their messages being so in line, so perfectly one. And so grateful for all these messages, like the circle just goes on and on and on. And I really see the healing, and we are willing to accept this profound healing. And we are also grateful and thankful for everyone who helped with the service, with Gigi, Frankie, and Arab, and many, many others who made this experience possible. And we are sharing the healing, the oneness, the expansiveness, the joy with everyone, because we are one. In love and deep, profound gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Oh, thank you, Elena. So beautiful. I'm so happy you were here today. I'm sorry I took your spot in the beginning.
No, it was perfect. It was so perfect.
We were expecting someone else, and when they weren't here, we thought.
I know.
So thank you, everybody, for this miraculous time together of oneness and the reminder of who we really are and what we really are, the divine. Thanks. Bye-bye.